Welcome back, you guys. Your boy CK. NFL season's creeping up, man. I'm getting hype. I know you're getting hype. And you know what? I wanted to start something new. I want to do a new series where I interview people I know that are fans of other teams other than the Eagles. So if you're a betting man or woman and you want to, you want some advice on whether you should take over unders or just learn more about certain teams, maybe pick up ideas for fantasy, anything. I figured this is something that can help you out. So we're going to interview as many people as possible. First up, so here I am with my boy Ryan, Titans fan, former Maddie YouTuber, one of the OGs. What's up, man? How you doing?
Doing pretty good, and hopefully this goes well. Like, I might be a little bit harsh about this. I don't know.
That's what we want. We want you to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Because we got money on the line, moolah. All right, first question. What's the biggest reason your team didn't perform better last year?
All right, so number one, the absolute definitive answer to this question is injuries and lack of having receivers.
Okay.
I don't know if a lot of people know this or not, but we actually had 91 players used in the 2021 season. We followed that up last year by using 86 different players. We almost broke our record that we set the previous year with 91 players used. We made it all the way up to 86. And then we had guys like, I don't even know if anyone's going to know these players or not when I list these guys off. But these are some of the receivers we were throwing to last year. Nick Westbrook-Akine, Cody Hollister, Mason Kinsey, and a guy that people might be familiar with, Austin Hooper. We had a lot of injuries last year, and it was very frustrating. We actually started off the year 7-3, which is pretty good. Two really embarrassing losses in the beginning of the year. And then we kind of strung off a pretty big amount of wins, and then just injuries piled up. And that's pretty much the reason we didn't perform well last year. And combination, Ryan Tannehill hasn't been playing all that well. The offensive line, one of the worst offensive lines in football last year. Actually, I think they ranked 32nd in the league in pass protection ratings on PFF. So that's pretty much the answer.
That makes sense. Injuries.
Yep.
I only know two of those players you named, Hooper and Nick Westbrook.
Yep.
I don't think I'm a casual, so that's crazy. All right, so
and there was more. There were some more bad ones too, but I'm not going to get into all those players.
Oh man, I feel bad. I honestly do feel bad.
Yep.
All right, next question: best addition your team made in the off season?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say real quick, I'm not sure if this is going to happen by time the video is uploaded or not, but if it does happen, then DeAndre Hopkins would probably be the best player that we signed in the offseason, if that does occur. Currently, I do believe we're like minus 300 or something to sign him as the favorites.
Okay.
I think the Patriots are right behind us, followed by the Chiefs. So when this video is uploaded, the answer might be DeAndre Hopkins, and that would help a lot. But as it stands currently right now, not big name players, but I would probably go and say Arden Key, pass rusher from the Jaguars last year. He never really got a chance to start there, but he was performing very well. And now he gets to come over here to Tennessee, and he will have an opportunity to get a whole lot more reps and maybe become a starter alongside Harold Landry, who's coming back from injury. And then a guy like Sean Murphy Bunting, cornerback, played for the Bucs last year. We just need more depth at corner. Like, we have a decent, tandem there with McCreary coming. Yeah, and well, Farley, I mean, I really hope he ends up being what we expect him to be. But last year it was pretty much Roger McCreary, and he was a rookie last year, and he played every single snap on defense, like the whole way through. He struggled. He's a rookie, but he looked pretty good at times. But definitely having more depth at corner is something that we desperately need. Having more depth at pass rusher, desperately need. So I would probably say one of those two guys.
I'm liking it. Now you still have Byard. You have Simmons.
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely still have Byard. Definitely. Yep, yeah. Byard, Simmons. We got the studs there. We got guys that a lot of people may not know that are going to come, back from injury. I'm sure a lot of people know who Harold Landry is. We have like Rashad Weaver, another guy that is playing well in terms of last year, and hopefully he comes in this year and plays a little bit better and elevates the team a bit more. And guys like Tier Tart, and we actually got the I think his name is Aziz Al-Shire from the 49ers, and that guy That guy looks like a beast. I'm really hoping that he comes in and performs well for us. But I'm liking the defense. If one thing I would say about the Titans, if I would say are the Titans a good team, I would say they're a good defensive team right now as it stands. That's pretty much my answer, though. Getting those guys on defense to help for depth in case we have a lot more injuries. That's pretty much what I'm gonna say is the best addition that we made.
Okay. And you have a defensive-minded coach, Mike Vrabel, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's his specialty. You give him more playmakers. Look out.
I mean, this guy will do anything it takes to win games. Like, it doesn't matter. It could be the ugliest game ever. And that's one thing about the Titans you'll see. Like, no matter what, unless we play like the Eagles, which they destroyed us last year, we're pretty much in almost every game that we play. It comes down to the wire, and it's just a really scrappy game. It's not pretty, but it gets the job done at times.
Very true. All right, on to the next one. As it currently stands, your team has plus 350 odds to win the division. Should we, the public, take that bet?
So this is a double-edged sword for me. So again, this kind of all rides on if we get a guy like DeAndre Hopkins. And I think if that ends up happening, I do think the odds will shift from 350. So I think you're going to have to maybe make like a predictive bet if you think that that'll happen. I don't think that's going to be the only reason why we do win the division if we end up getting him. So last year, like I said, we started off the year 7-3. We're coming off back-to-back AFC South championships, and we ended up having a whole ton of injuries. Derrick Henry came back from that foot injury, and he kind of felt like he was a little bit slow at first, but he kind of picked it up near the end. He started to get going. Now he's another year removed from that injury, but again, running backs kind of start going downhill a little bit near, where he's at in his career and how many carries he's had. Jacksonville has definitely improved. They are getting, a lot of guys back. They ended up getting Calvin, or not Calvin. Who did they get? Yeah, Calvin Ridley. Yeah, I always get them confused with the other Falcons receiver. But they got Calvin Ridley now. I mean, Lawrence is 1 year better. ETN is better. And then I think they got a little bit of better players on defense throughout the offseason and in the draft. So it's going to be tough, but it's going to come down to one of those two teams. And I think based on last year, and I'm not going to use this as like an excuse or anything like that, but all those injuries we had, it came down to the last game against the Jaguars in week 18, and they were going to, either win that game and go to the playoffs, or we were going to win that game and go to the playoffs, and one of us was going to go home. We ended up having Joshua Dobbs in there at quarterback. We ended up almost winning that game. It came down to the last couple of plays there. It literally took everything the Jags had at full power to beat Josh Dobbs. So, like I said, if we get a guy like Hopkins, if Tannehill kind of has a little bit of a resurgence with a better offensive line, we ended up investing a number 1 overall pick in that Peter Skoronski offensive lineman who's going to replace Taylor Lewan. We signed Andre Dillard. I'm not sure how good he is.
Dillard's solid. From an Eagles fan, Dillard's very solid.
We're definitely improving that offensive line. And like I said, Henry has been playing behind a pretty bad offensive line the last couple of seasons, and he hasn't really taken a super step back. But I would probably say, to answer the question honestly, I would say you have a good chance if you want to take that bet.
Okay.
But I'm not going to guarantee anything. Jacksonville, as it stands right now, I do believe will be the favorite. And if I had to guess, I would say they would probably win the division. But if things go the right way, I absolutely could see the Titans winning that division. And I think that bet would be a good one to make.
Well, okay. I like that answer. Now, if you're not 100% convinced yet, maybe this next one might be the one for you. Okay. Right now, the over-under for the Titans is 7.5. Should we go over/under?
That's the one where I think that you should probably hit the over.
Okay.
And I say that because, just like we said about Mike Vrabel, he will do anything it takes. A Mike Vrabel coach team, I don't see how they couldn't win, 7 to 8 games. I have us winning anywhere between just about that number, around 7 to maybe 10 or 11 games, depending on if everything goes well. If we end up getting, not having a whole ton of injuries that we had, which is super unlucky.
Yeah.
Like you gotta imagine those injuries that we're having are just bad luck. And again, we play in the AFC South. like I said, we do have the Jaguars as competition, but are the Colts and Texans with rookie quarterback really going to be that big of a competition right away? I don't think they will be a big competition right now, and we've kind of had their number in the past, couple of years. So definitely 7.5 wins, which means we would have to hit 8. I would definitely believe that we hit 8. I think we're going to get right in and around that range. I would say about 8 to 10 is right where we'll fall. And I'm pretty confident about that. I think a lot of people think the Titans are going to lose a lot of games this year. But if you look at their schedule, it's not that hard. I think it's actually the 4th easiest schedule in the NFL in terms of last year's win-loss percentage. So you take a team that plays in the AFC South, which is pretty much widely regarded as one of the worst divisions in football, and you figure out, 7.5 wins, we need to win 8. There's definitely enough room there for the Titans to win at least 8 to 9 games, I think. And I think that's a good bet to take.
I
would definitely do it.
Some really good information right there. 4th easiest schedule. Still a good coach. Still have Henry. A lot of good points right there.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
All right, so if your team does go on a deep playoff run again, because you guys have gone pretty deep the last few years, who do you think will be the players or position group most responsible for it?
All right, so this is a hypothetical answer because I don't believe right now that we can make this like a deep playoff run this year.
If you do, though.
Like I said, this is just a hypothetical answer. If it does happen, it would definitely be Ryan Tannehill going back to how he was 2 seasons ago and the season before, where we were really on point with that play action. We had, I think, like the second or third best play action rate in the entire NFL. Okay. Of course, having Henry, people stacking the box on us, not expecting us to be able to throw the ball. And again, that's when we had A.J. Brown. But now we have a guy like Treylon Burks who's coming back from an injury. He started to look really good. And unfortunately, in that Eagles game I was talking about, I think you probably remember what happened to him when he caught that touchdown. He got knocked out by one of your players, one of your safeties. And he held on to the ball, which is crazy. He never really came back from that, and he wasn't really the same when he did. So he's kind of still rattled. But I definitely think, like I said, a lot of these answers depend on if we actually get DeAndre Hopkins. And I keep saying that, and I know it's not a fun thing to speculate and hope for something when you're trying to answer honestly about.
No, it is. No, I love this. Yeah. I love that because you guys are the favorite. Like it's looking like it's probably going to happen unless he takes a huge pay cut to play with like the Chiefs.
Yeah,
or one of those
exactly.
Teams. It looks like and why wouldn't you have Henry? They're not going to be able to double. I mean, we'll see what if Treylon comes back healthy on the other side, and Austin Hooper is still really solid. I mean, they're not going to be able to triple team. Like they might still double, but I don't know.
We also have a guy. I don't even know if you know who this is, but do you happen to know who Chig Okonkwo is?
Yes, he was cooking end of last season. He had some nice games.
So I'm hoping that he takes a step forward. Again, I hope Treylon Burks can live up to that draft position we took him in. We pretty much traded A.J. Brown for Treylon Burks. So I'm expecting something out of the kid. And I definitely think that he's pretty good. And he showed a lot of, there was a lot more good that he showed than the bad. Again, last year we had to deal with having a guy get thrown into the fire with Malik Willis when Tannehill went down, and he was not ready to play at all. No, you could definitely tell that he was not ready. And then we had to sign a guy off the street basically with Joshua Dobbs. And even with all that happening, Burks still had a lot of good moments during the season. And I definitely think a lot of this is going to depend on if Tannehill stays healthy, if the offensive line can hold up. Again, we unfortunately lost Taylor Lewan for the entire season, and then he ended up pretty much retiring. I don't think he's going to play football again, so we lost him, and we lost a couple more offensive linemen throughout the year. But we definitely did have steps forward with trying to replace a bunch of those players with guys that are low, money-wise, high maybe potential guys like Andre Dillard. We drafted, like I said, Peter Skoronski, and we ended up getting, I think his name is Daniel Brunskill from the 49ers to replace all those guys. So I definitely think, to answer to your question, if we do make a deep playoff run, it's going to be the offense. It's going to be Ryan Tannehill going back to being able to, find open receivers, have people to throw the ball to. And Derrick Henry's going to be Derrick Henry, so that's always going to be there for us. The answer to your question is Ryan Tannehill, and I don't think there's any other answer to that. Because if he's not doing what he needs to do, then we're just going to lose games because we can't win just running Henry every play. It would be nice, but that can't
It's not sustainable. All right.
Yeah.
Last question before I let you go. Give me your Super Bowl prediction for next season.
All right. So I do believe that there are a couple of teams here that I have in mind. We could see a team like the Bills. We could see a team like the Bengals, represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. But one thing that my gut keeps telling me is we're going to see Patrick Mahomes again. We're going to see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And I'm not being like a downer about it, but it's just kind of like I kind of wish someone could, beat him this year. I don't necessarily dislike Patrick Mahomes, but I'm one of those people that are kind of like, I guess you would call like a hater in some aspects. Like, I don't like to see guys that are this good.
This dominant.
Yes, like why do other teams get so lucky, but my team can't get lucky with a Mahomes and with a Joe Burrow and a Josh Allen? Like, I didn't even mention at all this entire video about the Titans drafting Will Levis because I don't want to get angry. I really wanted C.J. Stroud, but I don't know. I really hope the kid can do something in the future. But this is about the Super Bowl now. Like I said, my gut is telling me Kansas City, and then my gut is telling me either the 49ers or the Eagles.
Wow.
And again, the 49ers, I think, if they can put it all together and they stay healthy again and their quarterback, Brock Purdy, actually sustains what he did last year, I think they're going to be the one that's going to be in the Super Bowl with the Chiefs. But as it stands right now, again, my gut is telling me it's going to be a rematch. But I think the opposite result is going to happen. And I'm not saying that because you're in here. I promise you. I actually think that it's going to come down to the Chiefs and Eagles. And I think that the Eagles are going to get it done this time. I think they have unfinished business. They loaded up at some positions. They got a better running back, in my opinion. Do you think that?
I think, yeah, Penny hits the hole better. I think, if he stays healthy, both of them, if they both stay healthy, I think we have a better running back room than we did last year.
DeAndre Swift. I mean, you guys got so many talented players on offense. Dallas Goedert, A.J. Brown. I mean, come on. Like, I don't see. I know, like, we have obviously, you guys don't know this that are watching the video. Maybe some of you do. We have a friend, Nick, who's a 49ers fan, and he'll tell you until he's blue in the face, if the 49ers played the Eagles straight up, no injuries, and they were completely healthy, the 49ers would have no problem with the Eagles. But I think even at full power, even at full strength, if they go head-to-head, I got the Eagles as of right this moment, and it's super early. It's super early to say that because I'm not really entirely sure, but my gut is telling me Chiefs-Eagles rematch, and the Eagles get the job done. It's going to be another super close game coming down to the wire, but I got the Eagles winning the Super Bowl. As much as that is not, fun for some people seeing rematch of a past championship there, but I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're the two best teams in the entire NFL, followed by probably the 49ers, and I'd probably say maybe like the Bengals, right in and around there. So probably any one of those four teams you could see make it, but I could really only see the Chiefs, Eagles, or 49ers winning the Super Bowl. That's just my honest opinion. So if it ends up being a team like the Bengals against the Eagles or the Bills against the Eagles, I think the Eagles got it, no problem. I do think the Chiefs can beat the Eagles again, but I got the Eagles winning against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
Guy, let's go. I love that prediction.
Yep, I know.
It's literally copy and paste from what Yowie said. Not like exactly, but he said same teams, reverse score, everything. Like, it's crazy how you guys
really
are the same. Yes.
And I promise you, I haven't spoken to Yowie about anything. There's no
couldn't have.
Yeah.
I just recorded it right before this. Yeah, so
came right in after Yowie.
Yeah. All right. So, hey, man, thank you for coming by. We're going to revisit everything probably later in the season, maybe like after the season. We'll see.
Yep.
You have anything you want to plug besides just Twitter? I'll link it in the comment.
I really have nothing to plug. I mean, if there's a couple of people that used to watch my videos that are watching yours right now, I just want to say thank you for all the support over the years. Maybe in the future I'll come back again, but like I said, Madden is just not like hitting for me right now. I'm not having a lot of fun with it usually. I am really hyped up about it and stuff like that, but for some reason, just the way things have been going, I'm just not really hyped up about that. And I don't really have the drive or desire to create a whole bunch of YouTube videos right now, but maybe, something will come in the future and I'll come back and do some other stuff. But that's pretty much it, man. It was definitely fun to do this. I could have been a lot more harsh about the Titans, but I'm just being realistic about everything. If you guys take my advice on the, betting on the Titans, like, go ahead. But it's all up to, like I said, follow that DeAndre Hopkins story.
Yes.
If we get him and you see that we're still the underdogs in the division, take that bet.
That bet.
100%.
You heard it here first, man. Thanks for stopping by, Ryan. Always a great
Yep.
time.